So you know what they say, if you set your mind to something, you keep working at it and follow the process, in no distant time, you will see your dreams come to pass. And that has been my story when it comes to managing my finances and trying to gain financial freedom. I have always wanted to make money. I have dreamt about retiring early. That plan has still not come to pass yet. It is still work in progress, but we move. I have also enjoyed the idea of supporting my family, my friends, and the people that I care about, which was why when the opportunity presented itself for me to leave my home country, Nigeria, and move to Canada, I grabbed it with both hands and did not even have to think about the idea twice. So 7 years ago, I started my immigration process to Canada, which eventually took 2 solid years for me to complete. But sadly, I was one of those people that honestly believed that the moment I get here, everything was just going to work out. I believed everything would just set, everywhere will soft, and all my troubles will be over. But that never happened, and that is not my story. So 2 weeks after landing in Canada, COVID hit.
It really hit me hard.
But before that, I was so sure that I would find a high paying job in my field, which is finance, in no distant time after landing here. I was super confident about it, so much that I took almost everything that I had saved up before moving to this country and I sent everything back home to my siblings to start a business for themselves and also support their families. That was absolutely a wrong move, but I am glad I survived that early phase of being here, because the fact is my expectations were cut short because of COVID. People began to lose jobs left, right, and center, and that was when the search for an alternative way to make money began for me. And because of that, I decided to start saving up money for any business opportunities that might come my way. Fast forward about 1 year later, I started investing some of the money that I have saved up in the stock market. And I am so glad that I stuck with this idea. And today I am glad because I have been able to cross the $100,000 mark with my savings and investments, which has been my goal all along when I started on this journey. In my 5 years of living in Canada, I have gone from a broke new immigrant who came to this country with absolutely nothing. I practically spent most of what I had to move here, which honestly at the time was not so much as well. And whatever it is that I had left, I had sent it back home and given to family. I also still remember vividly the day that I landed at the Toronto Pearson Airport, 28th of February 2020. I was super excited to be here in Canada, but when I stepped out to get into the taxi that I had booked for myself, I quickly had to run back into the airport because it was too cold outside. That was when it dawned on me that the jacket that I had bought from Yaba Market at the time was not enough to provide me with the kind of warmth that I needed to survive here in Canada. Let's unpack my journey going from $0 to over $100,000 in this video. The motivation for me to start investing, how much I have earned over the years of living here in Canada, how I was able to get here this fast, what apps I use for my investing, how much is my actual net worth as of today, and what my plans are for the future. If you're still watching up to this point and curious to know how it all happened, stick around and watch to the end of this video and you might learn a thing or two. Also, subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's jump in. So CM, I have never really been the greedy type. I'm always content with what I have. Taking big risks has never really been my thing. I just really care more about being sustainable and things that will help me afford the kind of life that I wanted to live. And in my search for alternative sources of income, I then stumbled upon a video of a YouTuber named The Millennial Investor. And he at the time had started this challenge on how to easily go from $1,000 to $100,000, and it got me. I was hooked. The word easily was the part that got me the most, which turned out not to be entirely as easy as it was portrayed to be. But eventually I am glad that we are here now. I also recently checked out his YouTube channel and saw that his last video was about 2 years ago. So anyone who knows this guy, if you see this video, let him know that he was my inspiration from the get-go. I also got sold on the idea of having over $1 million at retirement if I had started early at 25 and just invested $200 a month for 40 years at the average return of 10% per annum, which is what you get by investing in the S&P 500. The problem is, at the time I was already over 30, but I wasn't going to let that stop me because it is better to start late than never. I really liked the idea of having that kind of money at retirement, or something even minutely close to $1 million, but I also did not want to have to wait for 40 years. And then I decided to be a little more aggressive with my savings and investment. I also did several side hustles, including skip the dishes, cutting people's hair, ride hailing services, to just help make this journey a lot faster and easier for me. So if you are watching this, I encourage you to go out there and make some extra money, save some of it, and don't spend it all. And also, do not go around buying expensive cars that you cannot afford. Most people, when they see this kind of videos, automatically they assume you make over 6 figures in income. But I am here to tell you that I have never made 6 figures in almost 5 years of living here in Canada. Not even close. As a matter of fact, the most that I have made in a year is $45,000. But there were things that I have done consistently in the past that has also helped me get here faster. The first thing was me even starting to invest in the first place. I also read a bunch of personal finance books, watched a ton of YouTube videos. This helped me learn what works, what does not work, and it also taught me patience. And I also learned the power of compound interest. Something else that was really important was knowing to not gamble my money trading individual stocks. Being able to adopt a set it and forget it approach to my investing made things so much easier for me. The second thing that I think was also very key and as important as the first thing I said was keeping my fixed costs low. Living in this country, the biggest expense for most people is rent, and being able to keep that part of my expense low was a huge contributor. The fact is, I have always shared rent with someone. The maximum I have paid in rent is $1,500 split between 2 people, and this is usually a 2-bed or 3-bed apartment in the places that I have lived so far since moving here to Canada. I know a lot of people say things like, oh, I enjoy my privacy. I do also like my privacy. That is why I have never really lived in any crowded apartments. I just try to share and split rent with at least one person in a decent neighborhood. I also moved away from high cost of living cities like Toronto, which was also a key factor that helped me keep my rent low. I even had to quit work and go back to school for a career switch, which has also not been an easy journey as well. Anyways, that is a story for another day. Point is, most of the time, your income does not stop you from saving money and investing money. You are better off starting today than waiting for some time in the future. I use Wealthsimple and Questrade for my investments. Watch this video for a step-by-step process on how to start investing in Canada. This is also a principle that applies to anyone living anywhere in the world. Just find yourself a brokerage firm and start your investment journey. Feel free to use the links in the description below to earn $25 and $50 respectively from Wealthsimple and Questrade. My go-to recommendation is always Wealthsimple if you are just starting out, because this is one platform with a really friendly user interface. It allows you the ability to automate almost everything that has to do with your investment, from auto deposits to recurring investments and automatic dividend reinvest. Check them out, and again, link in the description. I invest mostly in ETFs, particularly the S&P 500 ETF, VFV if you live in Canada, and VOO if you live in America. I also do own some individual stocks, but this makes up less than 20% of my total portfolio. The thing is, I realized early in my investment journey that regardless of the noise you see on social media, investing in a broad-based market index fund beats the performance of 90% of hedge fund managers, and I mean professional hedge fund managers. These are people who are paid professionally to do this, and they manage billions of dollars if they cannot consistently beat the return of the market. So you tell me why you have to even try and do it, especially when you are still new to the world of investing. In 2023, the S&P 500 returned over 20% to investors, and last year in 2024 it returned over 30%. That was really impressive, and that has also been a really huge contributor, which has helped boost my investment portfolio. Going forward, I really plan to optimize my investment portfolio. I will continue to save and invest, but not as aggressive as I was in the past. At this point, I think that as long as I am able to max out my tax-free savings account limits every year, let's just say at this point my target is still to be able to invest $10,000 per year on the minimum. I do feel less anxiety when it comes to money, and because of that I also plan to travel more and experience a lot of new places, not just Canada. I visited Jamaica last summer and it was absolutely an amazing experience, and I really do want to do more of that. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.